Hello, everyone. This is Eddie speaking here with EV Politics. Going on now is this whole Milo Yiannopolous pedophile scandal reports have been coming out recently. Me and Bo here are going to be completely honest. We're not entirely thoroughly researched right now. This is still a developing story. We're still trying to look into it. Milo is having a press conference tomorrow. After that press conference, we're going to be releasing, an actual full video once we do a little more research. But we're just going to do a quick video just talking about what exactly happened, what Milo said, as well as the media and all that kind of stuff. So basically what Milo said was that, he'd made some jokes on the Joe Rogan podcast about his childhood abuse from a Catholic priest. And then on the Drunken Peasants podcast, he was talking about the age of consent laws.
And I think the law is probably about right. That's probably roughly the right age. I think it's probably about okay. But there are certainly people who are capable of giving consent at a younger age. I certainly consider myself to be one of them. People who are sexually active younger. I think it particularly happens in the gay world, by the way. And in many cases, actually, those relationships with older men. This is one of the. This is one of the reasons I hate the left. They have this sort of stupid, one size fits all policing of culture. This arbitrary,
Milo.
This arbitrary.
Let him talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll
be quick. This arbitrary and oppressive idea of consent, which totally destroys, the understanding that many of us have of the complexities and subtleties and complicated nature of many relationships. People are messy and complex, and actually, in the homosexual world, particularly, some of those relationships between younger boys and older men, the sort of coming of age relationships, the relationships in which those older men help those young boys to discover who they are and give them security and safety and provide them with love and a reliable and sort of a rock.
When this first kind of broke, we wanted to find the actual specific video where he was talking about the consent. We checked out like maybe 20 fucking articles, and we couldn't find the context. Where was the context? What was the conversation about? What exactly was happening? Where was he?
It took us about 20 minutes of searching to find anything relevant, and before we finally went to the piece, it turned out it was from a year ago, so conveniently surfaced just in the last couple of hours.
And we decided to watch like that little clip of him saying that. He says, and he also says this in his Facebook defense article, that the age of consent is about right. However, in all the videos that are being shown on the various articles around the internet, they conveniently do not include the part where he says that. It just starts off right when he starts complaining about the consent laws. We also want to point out that Salon removed the pedophile article, and I think Salon is one of the websites who are trashing Milo over these comments. I think it's pretty scummy, honestly, for a website like Salon who gave a platform to a pedophile and then delete the article once this Milo stuff starts happening.
And as soon as it starts to fit their narrative, you can just see them switch on a dime like that.
True. Especially since these comments are at least a year old, it sounds like a hit piece. But we'll have to look into it more. Back to what Milo said in reference to the consent laws, though. We recognize that it's a taboo subject to talk about, but was he really condoning pedophilia?
He wasn't condoning pedophilia. What he was merely saying is that attaching an arbitrary number to something like consent, some people, are more sexual than others growing up. Some people develop earlier.
Yeah, I can understand what Milo means by when he says that people are complex, because I know that when I was younger, I was ready for sexual activity, but that's not for everyone. Basically, what I got from it was that he was saying that since people are complex, it's kind of weird to put like just an arbitrary number, like this is the age, when it's kind of different for everybody. But again, like he said, that the age of consent was about right. Another contentious thing he said was his use of the words young boy, but according to his defense post, young boy is a slang term for young men in the gay community, ones who are kind of reaching that age of consent or age of majority, whatever you want to call it. And Milo has also posted like a video where he said that he wishes he could go back and phrase things differently, which I think is a pretty fair thing to say. Final thoughts so far. This is eerily similar to what happened to PewDiePie over the last few days. The mainstream media sees someone with a lot of power and decides to tear them down. To be fair, we've pretty much only read Milo's defense posts and listened to what he actually said. Maybe some of the articles we skipped over might provide something else to consider, so we'll have to look into that after Milo's conference tomorrow. Anyways, thanks for listening to this more casual video. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy our videos. Again, we are a new channel, so please leave a comment with some suggestions and critique. Have a good night.